Set in a world of blood oaths, open highways and drug routes mapped over them, where silence is not only golden, but also deathly, closer to God, with a family of killers who harbor 24 victims, is a shocking story that will keep the readers at the edge of their seats. Enter into the world of Sons of Silence Motorcycle Club, whose members are counted among the most dreaded American biker gangs. What is gilded in chrome and trimmed in leather is a violent empire made up of meth sales, murder contracts, and undying loyalty. They are not mere riders, but brutal bikers in an outlawed fraternity. This gang causes havoc to spill all the way to Europe. It is not a TV show, but it is a horrific reality. That was their black heritage. Born behind the shadows of Colorado. It started as the Sons of Silence Motorcycle Club in 1966 in Colorado, with the Sons of Silence as the founding father, Bruce Richardson the Dude. It started as a mere gang of bikes seeking camaraderie, freedom, and brotherhood. Yet, it did not long before they began to get a reputation. Not a reputation as road cutters, but a reputation as cold sons of bitches. The gang had a motto such as "Donec mors non separat," until death separates us, which sent a bone-chilling tone to its members and the enemies. They became more systematic. They organized closely knit chapters, hierarchies, and severed contact with outsiders. During the 70s and 80s, they grew fast in order to cover the Midwest. The Sons acted in the darkness unlike other prominent clubs, such as the Hells Angels. They assumed a low profile, which kept them under the radar in a manner that enabled them to grow in power. They did not require popularity. It required terror, and in the outlaw motorcycle club world, that made them more dangerous still. Meth empire of two wheels. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Sons of Silence discovered their real criminal ideal: methamphetamine manufacturing and distribution. Meth was very easy to produce. It was addictive and fetched immense profits. In secret places, i.e., out of sight of prying eyes, the Sons established small laboratories and trailers, basement garages, and back-room shanties. They dominated the routes of distributions using biker rallies and clubhouses. They used reputable fronts in the form of bars, tattoo shops, and repair shops to transport meth across state lines with terrifying efficiency. They were ideally organized to commit crime, a close circle of trusted ones to cook, a crew of loyal fighters to distribute, and possibilities to take a risky delivery. They did not do any showy violence like some street gangs to attract the attention of the law enforcement. They rather kept it secret and created a multi-million-dollar empire with meth as their jewel. The police in the Midwest started noticing the trends of meth raids involving Sons patches, but at that point, the gang was too powerful, and their silence was leaving them practically untouchable. Blood pact or brotherhood? To people outside, this could be viewed as a group of Harley enthusiasts. However, when one is in the clubhouse, it becomes a totally different world. Getting together in a gang is not about riding, but it is preferring to show 100% loyalty by using pain and obedience, and in many cases, crime. Prospects are initiated in a ferocious way. They have to polish bikes all day, guard during nighttime, and do other embarrassing and even criminal tasks. Survivors are gradually accepted, but no one can really be trusted, and that can only be achieved when a person is committed. People swear their oaths where violation of the latter induces death or mutilation. The gang is involved as a cult rather than a club. Members also call one another brothers, and those who object to orders are regarded as enemies. Through this blood pact, no one is allowed to break code. They are not only loyal, but it is also ensured by fear, violence, and combined criminal liability. Message of murder. Murder in the Sons of Silence isn't 6260. Say it impulsive. It is well thought out. With a rather shady, dark history involving murder to deal with competition or instill security or authority, the club has been using murder as a form of dealing with threats. When a member defects or colludes with the law enforcers, he or she does not simply wash away. They are used as a poster boy. Cases are found where their bodies have been left in distant locations and club tattoos have been burnt or removed to deny affiliation. It is not stopping some poor creature, it is scaring everybody. The Sons are known to other gangs, including their rivals, as people to be reckoned with. When one shows disrespect to their turf or interferes with their meth distribution operation, he or she can end up in a hit list. The police have been able to attribute many unsolved murders to the Sons, however, due to the lack of witnesses and cooperation. Seldomly have they convicted members of the gang. What counts in their world surpasses a warning. It is a bullet. To them, murder is a language, and that their message is always loud and clear. Loyalty is life, and betrayal is death. Opponents everywhere. The outlaw biker community operates on rivalries, and the Sons of Silence surely do not lack these. First, there are old scores to settle with the Hells Angels, and secondly, there are bloody showdowns with the Outlaws MC. Gang wars are unavoidable. They are not simply ego battles, but they are territory, drug routes, and dominance fights. Just using one insult during a biker rally may continue for weeks of violence. One notorious example came when Sons of Silence and Outlaws members beat each other up in a bar. At the parking lot, multiple individuals were stabbed and shot. These are not one-time occurrences. Gang wars can erupt at a time and a place when one would least expect them, during funerals or weddings, or even during charity rides. The Sons stand ready and ride in packs, shoot to the last drop of blood, and know how to fight back. All this rivalry also contributes to their being more dangerous, since with a foe on every level, they are always on the alert. Crossing oceans, keeping quiet. The Sons. Go European. By the late 90s, the Sons of Silence stunned everyone, especially law enforcement, by planting their flag in Europe. Germany and Austria weren't ready. Most local cops had only seen biker gangs in Hollywood films. Real outlaw clubs. That was fiction. Until it wasn't. New chapters didn't announce themselves. They slipped in, cut deals with local criminals, and quietly started moving meth, guns, and cash through cities and across borders. Europe's open border system? A gift. They crisscrossed nations without hassle, and by the time police caught on, the Sons had already stitched together a tidy criminal network. Germany in particular became home turf. From biker rallies to bars and highway rest stops, the infrastructure was in place. They didn't come for a vacation, they came to conquer. And they brought the same strategy: blend in, clamp down, and crush disobedience without a second thought. Inside Job, the ATF's most dangerous game. 1999 brought the storm. It didn't come from a rival club or a cartel, it came from within. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives launched Operation Silence Thunder, a deep dive sting that shook the Sons to the core. Undercover agents went all in. They played the part. Arms dealers, outlaw bikers, trusted friends. They showed up at parties, sat in on drug trades, and listened in on murder plots. It wasn't fast, it wasn't easy, but it worked. The takedown hit 37 members in one sweep. Weapons, meth, explosives, seized. But the Sons didn't fall apart. They tightened the screws. Membership protocols became brutal. Internal surveillance ramped up. Phones disappeared. Only face-to-face meetings were allowed. Even wannabes had to pass ruthless loyalty checks. The message was clear: trust no one. And if someone managed to get inside again, they wouldn't live long enough to tell anyone. Where the walls watch back, Clubhouse realities. To a stranger, the Clubhouse might look like nothing more than a sketchy garage or some forgotten roadside bar. But past the steel-reinforced doors is a whole different world. These places are command centers, outfitted with cameras, hidden compartments, escape hatches, and sometimes even interrogation rooms. They're more of a bunker than a bar. Members meet there to handle business, drug drops, discipline, surveillance briefings. Phones are banned. Outsiders, not a chance. Cross the threshold without approval, and you're asking for a beating, or worse. Some of these places are so rigged, they've got tunnels under the floor in case cops come knocking. For the Sons, the Clubhouse is more than a building. It's sacred ground. And a breach isn't just trespassing, it's war. Ink that speaks volumes. In the outlaw world, tattoos tell stories, but they also write contracts. For Sons of Silence members, ink isn't about style. It's status, history, and warning signs. The 1% diamond says you're not part of polite society. The winged skull? That's the badge of brotherhood. Teardrops might mean someone's dead by your hand. Lightning bolts, skulls, coded numerals, all of it matters. It's like a language carved into skin. These tattoos don't fade, they follow you. And if you betray the club, that same ink makes it easy for others to find you. Some try to get their marks removed. Those people don't usually live long afterward. In this world, your tattoos can kill you. They're permanent proof of the life you signed up for. The women. No one talks about the Sons of Silence don't make room for equality. For women involved with the club, life is often harsh and unforgiving. They don't get patches. What they do get are tattoos with their partner's name or numbers. Branding, essentially. They run errands, move drugs in places you wouldn't think to check, and staff the businesses used to clean dirty cash. Some are abused, others vanish without a trace. Speaking up? That's dangerous. Trying to leave? Even worse. A handful of women have escaped with police help, but most stay silent. The Sun's code reaches them too. They're part of the machinery, and once you're inside, there's no easy exit. Guns, guts, and groundwork. If there's one thing the Suns don't gamble on, it's firepower. Their gun stockpiles would make some militias blush. Short-barreled shotguns, illegal rifles, converted automatics, they've got it all. Some are stolen, others modified in-house. In one raid, feds found firearms hidden behind walls, inside hollowed-out motorcycles, even under floorboards. But having guns isn't enough. They train. Private land becomes shooting ranges. Members drill regularly for real-world firefights. In some areas, they barter weapons with cartels, trading for meth or protection. The result? A crew that's not just armed, they're combat ready. One wrong word, one bad glance. And the violence isn't just a threat, it's a promise. The patch, not just a vest. Becoming a patch member means crossing a line you don't get to step back over. The process, grueling. Prospects spend months, sometimes years, doing the dirty work. They clean toilets, run errands, and yes, commit crimes. Eventually comes a final test, usually violent, always defining. If you pass, you earn the vest. But that patch isn't decoration. It's sacred. Disrespect it, lose it, or try to run with it, and you'll face punishment. Public shaming, beatings, even death. Some who tried to bail ended up dead, their blood staining the very fabric they once wore. The patch isn't just a badge, it's a target, and once it's on your back, you carry the weight forever. Wheels in motion, meth and power on the open road. For the Sons of Silence, those long motorcycle runs aren't just about brotherhood, they're the veins of their drug empire. Each ride, sometimes stretching hundreds of miles, is more than a show of unity. It's a cover, hidden compartments tucked inside saddlebags, helmets, and even welded into bike frames conceal meth, firearms, or stacks of cash. Some runs line up perfectly with major biker rallies. Thousands of bikes on the road make it nearly impossible to spot which ones are carrying contraband. Smart move. But it's not just logistics, it's about presence. Rolling deep through a small town in full formation sends a message loud enough to shake windows. Locals feel it in their bones. These runs also double as loyalty checkpoints. Miss one without a rock-solid excuse, there's a price. Law enforcement knows this game, but stopping every convoy? Not happening. Under the noise and chrome is a drug route in plain sight, paved with intimidation and profit. Cash in, clean out. The Sun's laundering engine. Behind every drug deal is a paper trail, or at least there would be if the Suns didn't know how to bury it. They've turned small businesses into money-washing machines. Strip clubs, tattoo parlors, bars, towing outfits, you name it. All cash-heavy, all useful for moving meth profits through the system without raising eyebrows. That 8,000 meth drop, it just became beer sales on a Tuesday night. And here's the kicker. Many of these shops blend right in. Some have been part of their neighborhoods for decades. Locals just see rough bikers running dive bars, not criminal accountants cooking the books. Fake IDs, prepaid cards, shell companies. It's not amateur hour. The laundering runs deep enough that federal agents sometimes need entire forensic teams just to crack the numbers. To most people, it's just a bar with bad lighting. But for the Sons, it's a financial nerve center, quiet, effective, and always pumping. The smoke war, law enforcement versus shadows. Trying to pin down the Sons of Silence is like boxing with fog. They're everywhere and nowhere at once. Their internal silence is airtight. Snitches are rare, and when they do exist, they don't last long. Even when guys are looking down the barrel of a life sentence, they shut their mouths. In small towns, cops are outgunned, underfunded, and usually out of their depth. So, the feds step in. The FBI, ATF, DEA, all of them have tried to tear the club apart. But it's slow work and dangerous. Going undercover inside the Sons isn't just risky. It's damn near suicidal. The club has countermeasures. Burned phones, decoy stash houses, even psychological warfare. People get followed, intimidated. Some corrupt officials are in their pocket. Others are blackmailed into silence. Between rural isolation and urban reach, the Sons play both sides. They're not just bikers, they're ghosts on wheels, and they've learned how to disappear in plain sight. Brutality is bond, rules, blood, and fear. This club doesn't run on trust. It runs on fear and absolute control. The Sons of Silence have their own laws, their own courts, their own punishments. Step out of line, steal, lie, disrespect leadership, and you'll wish you hadn't. Some get beat down at church meetings. Others are forced to hand over their patches in front of everyone, stripped of rank and dignity. And then there are those who vanish. The club calls it discipline. Outsiders call it savage. But inside, it's normal. Every brutal act is a warning to the rest. Silence or else. One of the most feared penalties is the blood out, a full-scale assault on a suspected traitor. Some barely live through it. New recruits learn fast, mess up, and the pain isn't metaphorical. In the Sons' world, loyalty isn't earned with words, it's proven in scars. They don't do cameras, the club versus the media. Publicity, not a chance. The Sons of Silence operate like a virus, deadly, unseen, and impossible to trace. You won't find them bragging in documentaries or posing for Instagram. If a journalist gets too close, the warnings come quickly. A car tailing you late at night, a stranger staring too long at your doorstep, or maybe worse, they hate the spotlight. To them, exposure is a risk. Social media? Off limits for most members. Younger guys are banned from posting anything club-related. Former members who've spoken out? A few, but not many, and fewer still have lived comfortably afterward. The Sons don't care for headlines. They don't write their own legacy. They let fear do that. Their myth is passed in whispers, not broadcasts. Redemption is a lie. Leaving the Sons of Silence sounds easy enough. In reality, it's anything but. Some try, some even think they've made it out. But freedom is a fleeting illusion. Many end up in witness protection, living under false names with their past breathing down their necks. Others just run. New cities, new faces, new lives. But the club remembers. The tattoos don't help. Even removed, they leave a trace. And if you know things, real things, you're a liability. Not because of revenge, because of preservation. Secrets don't get to walk free. A few ex-members have told their stories in books or interviews, but always from the shadows. Most never speak. They live with one eye on the door and a gun within reach. Because in the world of the Sons, loyalty isn't just demanded, it's eternal. Redemption, if it exists at all, lives in the rearview mirror, always out of reach. Silent, invisible, and still in power. You won't see them like you used to. No big parades of bikes, no open threats. But that doesn't mean the Sons of Silence are gone. They've just adapted. They've gone deep underground, trading in their loud presence for quiet precision. Encrypted phones, burner identities, compartmentalized chapters. Smarter, tighter, and even more dangerous than before. Their international ties to cartels, gun runners, foreign clubs are stronger now. Some say they've shrunk. They haven't. They've just gotten better at hiding. You can't fight what you can't find. And that's the scariest part. The Sons aren't chasing glory. They're chasing control. As long as there's profit in meth and power and fear, they'll be out there, silent, armored, and watching. The flashiest criminals make headlines. The deadliest ones, they vanish into the background. Outrow. There is no doubt about the fact that Sons of Silence MC is one of the most secretive and brutal gangs in America, as they are engaged in a lethal tango of crime and fratricide. They do not pursue clout or headlines. They pursue power, profit, and silence. In Colorado, backroads to European dark alleys, their empire exists, hidden by fear. It is not only about motorcycles or meth. It is about blood oaths, a fist-first concept of enforcement and a way of life that not many make it out of. The Sons might not talk much, but their legacy will have a louder voice than engines will ever have. And to those who fall in their way, the only certainty holds true. Silence does not save, it devours.